Hey, I'm Melody from melodies-makings.com. Today I wanted to talk to you about a video that I watched recently. It is a video by Ira Glass, and it is about what nobody tells creative people. I think it's an amazing video, and I actually loved it so much that I tried to share it on my Facebook page, but unfortunately I totally screwed that up. I somehow still managed to do that after years. And I did not get it posted on there. So I decided to go ahead and write a blog post instead. And I will either include a link to the video or go ahead and embed it on my site so that you can watch that as well. Basically though, what this video talks about is, like I said, what nobody tells creative people. And that is that it is so awesome to have a passion, to have a fire lit within yourself about something. And obviously, with creativity, if you are doing something, it's because you love it, and it's because you are passionate about it, you're excited about it, and you're ready to try something new, and that's amazing. The rough part is that when we first try something, frankly, we are just not good at it. It takes practice. It takes hours and hours of doing this work in order to become really successful and really good at something that you're trying. I think this applies to every single aspect of life, whether it be parenting, knitting, crocheting, obviously, writing, singing, whatever you might be doing that takes a creative stance. It really takes putting in the work and putting in the effort to make it happen. And sometimes we feel like we should be really awesome at something the first time we start it. And that's a natural feeling. It is natural to be so passionate and energetic about something that when you just can't make that passion into the final product that you have in your head, it's easy to get discouraged and quit. So that video is an amazing video that basically just tells you the hours of work that you need to put in, and that it's okay to suck at something when you first start. It's okay. We all do. So I wanted to share a quick story with you about my own personal venture into knitting and writing knitting patterns, which is what I do now. And when I was first given a Christmas gift of knitting needles and yarn from my sister, she tried to show me what to do, and quite frankly, I am used to picking things up pretty quickly. I'm a pretty fast learner, and I couldn't pick it up. And I got mad and I quit. And I never came back to knitting for a few years. And then when I did come back to knitting, I decided that I was going to make a baby blanket for my nephew, who was actually not even my nephew at the time because I was just the girlfriend of my now husband. And so anyways, I used the knitting needles that she gave me, which happened to be 10.0 or US 15 knitting needles. And for those of you who aren't knitters, that means they were super thick. And I used them with Bernat baby blanket yarn, which is super thin. And the two just simply should not be used together unless you're going for a very specific look. But unfortunately, I just had no idea what I was doing, so I wasn't going for a specific look. And of course, they were straight needles, so I shoved all of these stitches onto these straight needles, and I had no idea what this blanket would look like when I finished. I worked hours and hours and hours on it, thinking it was going to be the right size, it was going to be beautiful, I'd have something amazing to give to my new nephew. And when I pulled it off of those needles, when I finished, it was the length of a table runner and about the width of a table runner, and there were huge holes in it where I dropped stitches, holes that I could literally fit my fist through, all over this blanket. So naturally, I ran crying into my room, and my poor husband had no idea what was going on and did not understand my agony, but for all you new knitters, you know what I was facing there. Anyways, I did end up giving the baby blanket to my in-laws, and despite the fact that it was the ugliest baby blanket in the world, and they probably thought I was crazy for giving them this ratty gift, I still felt good about it. And that was the end goal. The end goal was to give something to my nephew that was handmade with love. And that's what I did. And I think we get caught up on the logistics. We get caught up on the little things. We get caught up on making perfection. But it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It matters if it's made with love. So I also have a quick, this is my second project. It's a scarf for my husband, which I made with super itchy acrylic yarn and he will never wear. But I keep anyways because it was my second project and I just have to. But I mean, even this is so imperfect, it's ridiculous. Once again, I didn't use the right size needles and yarn. It's not even the same width all the way through. The color change was horrible. But you know what? Once again, I gave it to him with love. He pretended to love it for a little while until we got far enough into the relationship that he could admit it was scratchy and he wasn't going to wear it anymore. But it's just really important to keep that fire, that passion lit. And don't let the fact that for the first however long, everyone has a different learning curve, but maybe for the first year, your projects aren't going to be what you want them to be. Or maybe you're trying to learn how to sell on Etsy and it's hard. It's really hard, and that's okay. It doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. It takes practice. It takes practice to make something. It takes practice to make a product listing. It takes practice to write something good. It takes practice to sing. No matter what you're doing, it takes a massive amount of work. The most important thing you can do is keep your passion, keep working on it, and never give up.